Okay, this is to address questions on the Hawks Learning System, section 5.2. Working with exponents, it seems like the negative exponents are what's thrown us the most. So let's talk about, first of all, just a few rules that you've got to be familiar with when you're dealing with these exponents. Anytime that you're multiplying, if you have the same base value, in this case I have an A, and they're to a power, it's important to kind of think about what's going on. I have a to the third, which is just a times a times a, times an a squared, which is another a times a. And so in the end, this is just an a to the fifth power, which really means all I have to do is add these exponents together and I'll have my answer. So make sure that whenever you're multiplying, that you're going to add your exponents. Okay? The next idea is when we are dividing. If I have an a to the fifth, that's just an a times a times a times a times a over a squared. And I refer to this one quite a lot, this idea here, because as soon as you have this fraction, you have it all spread out like this, then you're going to start reducing factors. And then I'm going to reduce another set of a's. And so what I'll refer to quite a bit is I'll say, after I've reduced, where are my extras? And in this case, after I start crossing things off, my extras are on top. And how many are there? Well, there's 3 extras. And so this is just an a to the third. And I have it on top. I could put it over 1, but that's not really necessary. In the end, what I did is I subtracted the 5 and the 2 there. But it gets a little bit wormy when you start having more values in the bottom than you do in the top, or when you start getting some negatives. And so I just kind of like to say, where are my extras and how many are there? So you'll say, oh, they're on top, or they're on bottom, and there's 4 of them, or 10 of them, or however many extras there would be. And you're really just looking at these numbers here saying, well, if I had 5 on top and 2 on the bottom, and I started crossing them off, where would the extras be left? Then the last example I want to do here real quick is just as far as knowing your rules, is if you have a power raised to another power. So in this case, I have an a to the third, but then I'm going to square it, which means take it times itself. So basically, I'm going to take it times another a times a times a. So in the end, what I end up with is an a to the 6th power. Okay? I can get a 6 by multiplying the powers. So anytime you have a power raised to another power, you're going to multiply those powers. Okay, so you got to have those rules kind of down, and then let's do a few examples. Okay, here I have one. I tried to pick some that are a little bit more complex. Hopefully the easier ones you're okay with. On this one, I have a cubed b squared all over ab, and everything is being squared. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go through and I'm going to square everything. Remember, power to a power, I multiply. So it'll end up being an a to the 6th and a b to the 4th. And on the bottom, everything gets taken to the 2nd power there. And then let's go through this. If I look at my a's, I've got 6 of them on top, 2 on bottom. Where are the extras going to be after I start reducing? Well, I'll end up with 4 extras on the top. Remember, you're just kind of subtracting these numbers. Okay, with my b's, if I started multiplying it all out and then cross things off, I'd have 2 extra b's on top. I have nothing on the bottom. I could put it over 1, but it's probably easier just to leave it as is. Okay, let's try another one. Oh, okay, so let's talk about some negative exponents. That's the other thing that's kind of weird. Anytime you have a negative exponent, it's basically in the wrong place. So when I see an x to the negative 4th, it's in the wrong place. It needs to be in the denominator. And so I would change that to a 1 over x to the 4th. Anytime you have that negative power, you bump it either to the denominator, or if it's already in the denominator, you're going to bring it up. Like on this one, the x to the negative 4th. Well, the negative 4 power says it's in the wrong place. So I'm going to bump it to the top. So now it's going to be an x to the 4th up on top. When you move it, that's the point in which you get rid of the negative sign.